Welcome to installment 3 of Sunday Sit Down. We're doing a little different this time. This time, I couldn't get anyone. It was Mother's Day. Yeah, most of the people that, always said they would, that's just not a good week, obviously, because everyone's, doing their stuff with their mother, their kids, and their mother. So we're going to sit down and we're going to just listen to me, but not the me you guys are used to, not the normal me. Not the angry, political, ranting, raving human being. Now, granted, I still hate hypocrites and liars across everything. And we all know the left, the media, the people on the right. Like, there's so many liars everywhere and hypocrites. It's inconceivable, actually, almost to me. And it's just gotten that bad, and we've all fallen that far as a society. But we're going to get into the real human being. And I'll pull back a layer or so you guys can understand what everything was to get me where I am now, and everything that had to happen and go wrong catastrophically to get me where I am now. Throat's killing me today for some reason. I blame allergies, but there's a lot that happened. I'm not going to get into the big one, but I'm going to talk about some things that irk me just about mankind as a whole in this first one, because I'm sure it's not going to be the only time that it's just little old me talking on a Sunday. Because there's a lot of stuff to talk about that has nothing to do with politics or any of that. That just happens in everyday life that irritates the hell out of me. Probably irritates the hell out of a lot of people, actually. That really, this one, is how to get out of the horrific darkness when you're in there, and all the crazy it took for me to finally, get some semblance of peace. No matter what, narcissists and scummy, shady people threw my way or throw your way, I think it's good to know that you can come out of it and to have hope. And hope is a wonderful thing. It really is. I don't like it when I see people losing hope. I don't. No reason to lose hope. No matter how bad things get, trust me. I know everyone hates this thing. Let it just bide your time. All storms sooner or later do pass. All craziness goes away at some point. Like, pure ridiculous chaos will end at some point. Look at the couple of years I had there. Like, even before, all hell really broke loose, and that's coming up on the 3-year anniversary of that part of the chapter of my life closing, which got me to where I am now. And I don't like any bit of what happened. But if it wasn't for those things, I wouldn't be here now. There are a lot of years people did know me. I know, crazy, hard to believe people knew me. And they say I was the same, Jesse, that, none of it really changed me. But I personally know that I was in zombie mode. I was in autopilot, I guess is the way to put that. That's what you do when you're going through just inevitable, just uncontrollable hell. Just keep going through the motion. That's a lot of people do. You go into autopilot. And do you want to be there? No. Do you even really notice you're there at the time? No, you don't. I didn't. Most of the time, I just kept going through, day after day after day, not thinking anything of it. And from my experience, and a lot of other people have said to me, it's quite common. It's normal to be an autopilot when you're going through all that. It does not have to be that way. And no matter how many apologies you get from people in your life, whether it's family, spouses, friends, co-workers, whatever, the gambit, and a lot of them, I remember many times they say they're going to keep changing. Take it from me. If you have, if you're still arguing about the same thing so many times and they keep saying, I'll change, what, don't stick around because you think that's what you need in your life. Now, you can't do it without having that person there. I'm sorry. Like you give them what I guess will be like baseball. As I love baseball. 3 strikes, you're out. And I'm not going to keep repeating myself. We're not going to keep having the same argument over and over and over and over and over again. Don't put yourself through that. That is so detrimental to you mentally and physically. It is inconceivable how bad it actually is for you. Trust me. Been there. Was there for many, many years. It's one of the worst things you can actually probably do to yourself. And that causes so many other things. I mean, between like, all the stuff that chemicals that get released in your body just from being that like miserable autopilot zombie mode. Things it does to you mentally that takes forever to come back from physically. Like, but no matter what you think, trust me. I hate to say it, but follow your gut and don't keep trying to keep that whatever it is, the job, the what I mean, your job makes you feel the way. Get yourself another one and move on. See how that fits. People will come and go your entire life. Look at even people that argue and fight with their family all the time. It doesn't end. I mean, like family. Like look, people get shafted by, more times than not. It's loved ones, family, like people that are right there with you. They're the ones that'll stab you in the back quicker than most. It's one of those sad things in life. And keeping yourself there is just, around those people, like, don't. Like, they're not going to change. How much they say they're going to change, they're not going to change. Like, you feel it, go with that feeling, because 9 times out of 10, 9.9999 times out of 10, it's right. And it all turns out to be true. Everything that you felt, everything you guys argued about, all that turns out to be true at the end. I don't like it. But look how calmly I'm sitting here saying it. I mean, the thing that absolutely put me in the pits, look how calm I'm talking about it now. You just got to sit down and have the thought process about it. But do you really need it? Was it worth it? Look where you can go. I don't know what I stuck around and tried to hold on, just thinking it would get better, and like no matter what. Just how many times the same argument has happened? You just keep going. Like I don't want to see anyone else in that situation, and because it's not healthy, especially when you're dealing with like a narcissist, like in general at all. Yeah, Crystal's got the bees. Yeah, so does Melissa. I've got a few people. There's lots of them. You keep holding on. Like that's one that I really don't get. Is how the hell can you do that to another human being and sleep at night? Like, and I tell people I'll be down in like 20 minutes, and I have them sitting there waiting for like 40. I feel bad. Even if something came up, I feel terrible at that. Like, how can you completely just ruin someone's life? Just spread all kinds of things, cause all kinds of headaches, make all kinds of false claims, reports, lies, everything. Just run your suck about them to the whole world, which makes their life completely hell. Just so you keep living with your stupid, and then you don't think you ever did anything wrong. Like, how can you physically do that as a human being to another human being? Like, I've had it done to me a million times. I still wouldn't do it to anyone. I can't fathom how. Maybe it's because I actually have a heart and I'm not like soulless, spineless, gutless bag of blood, but like I just don't get it. Like, and I know people listening to this right now. You have the narcissist thing. Like, it's been there. It's done that. And you kept holding on. And I know there are people in my life, from the Crystals to the Daves, Heather, the few times we did talk, little sister, she works all the time. Mom, most loudly, my older sister. I'm pretty sure if she listens to this, she can comment on the video. She'll find it. See, she's hearing it right now. She's watching. We're listening. And she can't confirm, but I'm pretty sure we were like the whole time when I went up in 2018. And I took a train up to Philly. Beautiful ride, by the way. Highly recommend those train rides. Calm, peaceful, not nearly as big of a headache. As nowhere near the level of headache as air travel. So if you get the option. But I'm pretty sure most of that ride between the 30th Street station after we were both screaming at an idiot in a parking garage because guy had it coming. we spend most of the majority, like her telling me to just get over it and move on. And I wish I did. I mean, I wish I could have sooner. I know everything takes time, but just get rid of that holding on to it thing. And I told her it would take time and that I had to process it all. And then da 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 da. I mean, inside of a year of that, less than a year of that car ride. I mean, yeah, she got married. Still did the baseball stuff. I mean, for me, I saw friendships that other people had with people dissolve just for stupid stuff, just because, well, narcissists, they just use you up until they don't need you anymore. Then you're gone, bye. And they just make you out to be like a murderous, racist Klansman, and stuff like that. But divorce happened for me in my life. Again, that was my experience with it. I mean, there's falling out. There's always stupid, arguments with people like buddy's narcissist ex-wife that he's going through a divorce with. I guess estranged. I don't know. She dragged me into court over some stuff. Why? Because she just could not accept anything. But then she turned her bad behavior on me just because she could. Like that happened before the wedding. I was in a super, super good mood about it. In fact, I actually think I laughed when I read everything and stayed calm. Didn't like that I had to pay for the lawyer, and it was his wife going after me because he got custody of his kid that was staying with me, and somehow I had to pay for it all. Didn't like that, but that's besides the point. Like, if she didn't care what she did to me or anyone else, she was running her mouth about Crystal and Melissa. Like anything that had a pulse, she ran her mouth about them. Even with all that, like even after the divorce, me and Sammy were sitting in there laughing in the courtroom that day. Have we laughed ever since then? No. Am I still getting fisted to this day? Yes. Take that however you want if you're related to her and you're listening. One thing I said I wanted out of it. I don't want to sign anything till you get the townhouse off my back, because I don't want to be waiting for her forever. Here we are, almost 3 years later after she left. Still waiting. She did get a new car though. She has, her, you don't have to worry about him living with her, and they're in a great relationship. They travel. Like, she has extra money helping her pay stuff, though. I don't get it. But I managed to get the townhouse off this big house, the beautiful thing. I bought because she wanted out of the townhouse, and that's all she wants. But I got this out of that. Like after that happened, that was like 2 months later. I did that. Like everything was going. I wouldn't say smooth, but like my brain was really finally actually going in a really right direction. It started before we got divorced and all that. Yeah. I had a good. I mean, I got to go home in December. Then I got to go back home. Me and Crystal went to Meg's wedding. That broke. There was all kinds of stuff that happened. Got to go hang out in the woods. Got to go to Jim Thorpe, see some aunts that I hadn't seen since my grandfather passed. Got to see my grandmother do the funky chicken, I believe it was, at the wedding. It was a good. There were a lot of good. Baseball kept happening. Built some stuff. Was drawing again, writing. It was going really. I was finally coming out of it. And then, well, we all know what happened after that, but let's just say kind of hurt. And it left me this daily reminder. The infamous half tooth. Don't worry, the other half snapped off and is in the roof of my mouth. I still have it, but daily reminder what happened there. But that's for another show. I'm not that whole thing is a story in and of itself, what happened with that whole situation. Lots of humor, trust me. Everyone that knows what happened, wow, that's terrifying when you hear what happened. I do well with a smile on my face, scaring doctors with it. But that's another day. Another just me sitting down by myself, or maybe Crystal or my older sister will be involved, because my older sister got the call from Sammy, and then Crystal drove. I don't know. I think she got a fighter jet to get to the hospital to see me. Literally, or how far she had to go and how fast she did it. I don't know how she did it, but that's another story for another day. But you got to start doing things. Again, I started building things. I used to love to build things, great at building things. That helped, get things going, get your brain going, slowly start functioning through things. I was playing the guitar a little more, still rocking out on the bass, reading a lot. Because I used to do that all the time growing up before I turned into such a miserable human being. It's true. Baseball, I was still coaching, still went to a baseball game, the team, all of that happened. beating UNC. 2019, that was the year that they beat Duke, which is even better because, well, we all know they have a rivalry, and a lot of the parents there were Duke fans, so it was even more fun to watch their team get just slaughtered. It was literally, I don't remember the score, but it was not anywhere near even pretty. It's kind of like me, nowhere near pretty, but I do have amazing beard. It's pretty awesome hair till I get rid of that. You got to like do those things. You got to find those things. You got to find the old avenues and things that used to make you happy before life got so miserable and grim. You got to start doing those things. And, I was doing a few of them, but I mean, like when I saw my sister for that ride from the train station that December, I mean, I was just freshly into it. Me and her were just going at it all the time. There's no real chance of anything. And then like I just went up there just solely just to get away. Didn't even tell anyone. Until Sean, best friend growing up. He didn't know I was there. Like 2 people knew. That was it. That's all I told them. All the people I knew, I just went there and hid at my parents' house. The first time I also got to see it. So that was exciting. But, and then I finally decided, no, I started doing things. I don't know what it was. Maybe concerts, or my brain finally started to come out of it because I started occupying my brains. Life does go on. Like that's the biggest thing that you have to realize about things like this. Like life does go on. Life will go on, no matter how dark and miserable it is. Get out there and do things you enjoy. Again, if you like woodworking, build things. If you like sports, go to a game, watch some, coach. Did I coach baseball? Made all the difference in the world. Right, because the second I got there, my brain was fully fixated on that. Like nothing else was going on in the whole entire world, because I don't think you should mix the two. I think that makes you a terrible human being if you drag that in there. And you're supposed to be teaching those kids and coaching them. Again, opinions vary, could feel completely different, but get stuff like that. Like go to concerts. Believe it or not, go and listen to some good music in person does wonders for you. Wonders. I saw so many bands, got to meet so many people. One point before that frightful night in November, back in 2019, man, one day, literally in 24 hours, we went to a venue across town there, Tar Heel, because Crystal's daughter Shayla wanted to see Mushroomhead because that was her and her boyfriend's, that was the bee's knees for them. So we went and saw that. And then literally woke up like 10 minutes later, it seemed the next day, me and Crystal drove all the way across the state to Charlotte because her Jags were playing the Panthers. She wanted to see them. And so I got to go to my first NFL game. And later that night, because they were in town too, we just drove across town after we ate somewhere and went and saw, Cheap Trick, which, seen them at festivals before, but guy could still sing those, ballads. That's the important part. And ZZ Top, I finally got to see ZZ Top. That was all these, like life, like it was amazing. Life is a phenomenal thing if you just get over yourself. And really, when you refuse to do all that, the biggest thing that I have from all that, and I was talking to Lou yesterday and I didn't have an answer for him. It bugged me. Sat around and thought way too much about it, even though I knew the answer from the word go. Like you got to take advantage of the good people that you have in your life and find the happiness that you got, and you got to get over so much of it, because I can guarantee, and sure Crystal will say it, something, even though I was still there for people, I was still doing it. I'm miles ahead of where I was then, but for where I was, it could have been a lot worse, probably should have been a lot worse. But I took all of the feelings and the anger towards what happened to me and Sammy and whatever, got proven right in the end. That's all that matters. But at that point, my brain was just all over the place. I'm pretty sure I took my bedroom, like rearranged that and took all the living room stuff and put it in there. I'm like, well, I'm not sleeping. So what's the point of that? But I don't ever, I just sit here all day. So I got that in there. I did go out and drink, hang out. There wasn't just always drinking, but went and hung out with Jason a lot, drank a few beers, some stories, just had some laughs because he was going through some hell. But like the hatred and just all the bad feelings, about all the bad things in your life. And normally, believe it or not, if you think about it, it's narcissists that cause all of it. Like all the despair and misery and anger in the last couple of years have been all from narcissists. It hasn't just been like, something stupid. It's all people that go out of their way just to make you miserable, run you through the mud, and keep going on with their life like they didn't do anything. And lie through their teeth the whole time. But we take that negative energy, and even though I was still good, I mean, I wasn't again nearly as bad as I could have been. But the biggest mistake that you can do, like I wish he was here right now, but is you take all that energy you have because of that toxic person, the narcissist, and all that stuff, and all the reasons that you hate them, but then with all the bad energy and emotion, everything you're wasting on them, turns you into the exact thing that you hate. If that makes any sense, when it turns you toxic. Like, and until you like go, you start doing things, try to find a way out of there, whether it's reading, coloring, drawing, running, biking, guitars, coloring, start growing plants, racing simulators. I mean, there's some, weights. There's so much you can do. There's so much. Start a podcast. Go on anchor.fm. Do it for free. Boom. Selfless plug for them. But, like you take all that energy that you're getting from them and it just turns you into the thing that you hate. You might not be a narcissist, but you turn yourself just into a worthless, just toxic human being. And you got to find a way to just move on. Like it takes time, and time is like, it's true. Like I hate it. It's a cliche, but it all takes time. But don't sit around and just dwell on it and think about it. You got to get out there and just keep doing things. No matter how much joy you don't feel about them at that point, sooner or later, things will start going like good. But stopping those things that you did that you enjoyed, just sitting there thinking about it all, like it's scientifically proven that makes you more depressed and have more anxiety and just more everything, which doesn't help you get out of anything. In fact, it actually puts you farther into the pits, which, what the hell do you need that for? Like literally, what do you need that for? It doesn't help you at all. Like at all. Can keep saying that. So you got to like do that though. Like that's the thing that I couldn't tell him yesterday. I mean, I was trying, like there were a lot of things. All I said was, well, it all takes time. And there's this, there's that. Like, how do you like? And right now, look at me. Like I'm sitting here calm as a cucumber, cool as a cucumber, whatever the hell the phrase is. We're going through just a bunch of hell. I'm not even mad. Like I got more bad news last night. Not even mad. What's the point? They win then if you do that. Like they 100% win. And it doesn't help you at all. So you just got to, when you get stuff like that, you just got to keep pushing along. Sooner or later, it goes away. All that hate and discontent and everything, you find peace. You will find peace. I found peace last year. Finally feel like complete closure, peace. Everything's all good. Everything, good in the hood. And I was well on my way. I reacted better than probably most people thought I would. Like to everything that after that, like no matter what happened, it just kept going. Like I found my peace through all the stupid and all the crazy that happened. You can get there. Like you just got to sit there and just do some deep thinking. One day I'm thinking, as you guys couldn't have missed that, I'm wondering when his ears are going to fly off his head when he shakes so violently. But that's the big key to it. Like you can't sit there and dwell on it. You got to go on with life, move on with life. Do the things that you enjoyed. Keep doing them. If you stop, it just makes them worse. And when you stop doing them, you sit there and think about it more, it makes you just super toxic and turns you into all those things that you hate. And when you're getting toxic and miserable, it's affecting all the people around you because the only thing you're worried about is you. How all that stupid is affecting you. Like, and that's the worst thing you could do in any of those situations because it doesn't help you. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help anybody. Actually, this hurts relationships. It hurts you in the long run. And then whoever, put you in anything, or whatever situation did that put you in that slump, that thing really wins then because you're worse off. Because you just can't, again, I'm not saying you have to get over it right away. It took me say roughly a little over a year before I was like, okay, screw it. You know? So it takes time. But you got to keep chugging along through it. And I was like, trying to work out and stuff. Then after that trip, to PA for the month of December in 2018, I made a promise to my sister, I'll be back to where I was pre like all my surgeries and everything. Wait for your wedding. I will be there. And later on came up to me doing a dance with her. Still wish she didn't play Jesse's girl beforehand, but at least we had the dance after. So all the anger of Rick Springfield was gone by then. But I found the weights again, eating healthy, doing all kinds, like all those things that I used to do. And I would say I was a completely different human being between when she saw me 6.5 or so months after the whole Sammy thing, 6-ish, a little over 6. Like when she saw me, I came home in December and we were arguing in a car compared to when I saw her, 6 months after that. I'd safe to say I was completely night and day, like different human being. And it took a lot of work. And again, that happened with Darcy dragging me into court over some stuff. Complete and utter nonsense where she dismissed him herself voluntarily because like, oh no, he has a lawyer. Yeah. Oh no. And you literally have nothing. Wasting the court's time and everyone's time. She is a dumpster fire of a human being. Get into that story, later, but whatever. I mean, karma is a real thing. I believe karma is a real thing. Well, sooner or later, if anyone deserves it, damn. But even with that happening, like everyone left. Like I think they left me with. It was after a baseball game, and I found out about that. And all the ladies left. Just left me at Dave and Chad. They handed it to me, and I just laughed. Like they thought I was going to go off like a nuclear weapon. Like I knew what I did. I know I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't guilty of anything she accused me of, and that was false pretenses and false reports. And I just laughed it off and kept going. Like that's where I was in between, like just in the short time. I think that was like 4 or 5 months, one of those two after I was home. And that didn't even bother me. And I was a completely different human being. Like I don't know what, but I started working out, doing things again. And it does so good. I mean, it's the same, keep things, so keep doing things to keep your brain preoccupied because that doesn't, no matter what, you're still going to be sitting there thinking about it. So you got to like have that to get closure, to get process everything, but don't give up doing things because of it. Don't stop because of that. What the hell good does that do to you? And it's just, again, makes everything so much worse. Like I even picked up writing, some like, I don't know, you want to call it like lyrics or whatever. I mean, I was just letting out all of it, finding a constructive way to let it all out. And it helped. Again, you're sitting there thinking about it, like, don't go and drink like a case of beer. Go throw some weights around or go on a bike ride or a walk or something. That way you can process it and you can do it in a healthy way that actually betters your body instead of just killing it even more. Killing it even more and stewing on it makes everything, again, 1,000 million times worse, actually, like thousands being very generous most of the time. So, I don't know. Like and then it comes back to the main thing. Why are people like that? Just in case anyone's confused. How many times that thing just said it was connected and disconnected in a row from my phone? It's sitting right here. It worked out great. But how do you do that to something? Like, how can you physically do that? Like, again, it kills me when I say I'm going to be somewhere in like 20 minutes and it takes me an extra 10, 20 minutes to get there. Even if something happened, I feel bad. I know I'm holding everything up, so I was going to be there. And that's minuscule compared to, what some people do. Some people just do that like it's nothing. They don't care. They just go in there, say whatever they want, ruin people's lives. Hold on. Now that he's on the couch because he couldn't get himself up there. But like, how do they do it? And they don't lose any sleep. Like that is something I've never understood. And so far, sitting around thinking about it all the time, trying to figure this out, I can't understand how you do that. I don't get it. Like that is not basic human thing. Like you really are a garbage human being. Thank you, Adina, Meg, all of y'all. That beautiful phrase, but that's all you are. If you can sit there and do that to someone, I'll never understand how you can do that. Like, again, simple little things. Like, see you in, like, or, like, let's see you in 15, it takes me 20. I feel bad, even though it's 5 minutes and they don't care. Like, so how can, like, those minimum things bother me so much? And you can sit there and just completely try to ruin someone's entire life, literally, like Darcy did, and not lose any sleep at night. Even when you know it, like, especially when you know it's all fake and false, and you just keep going and going and going. Like, I'll never understand how people can do that. You know, don't like narcissists. Sorry. Don't like liars. Don't like hypocrites. Somehow there seems to be so many people that are all of those, like, combined. Everything's, about them. And no matter what they do to you, they don't care because they make everything out to be about them. Like, call me a lot of things. Trust me, people have. But they'll never say that I'm not, like, what do I say? I say I'm the nicest bleep, nicest butthole. There we go. The nicest butthole you'll ever meet. Like, it's true. And I treat people accordingly. Like, I am the most giving, generous one. If you need just sit down and just vent to someone, hit something. I don't care. You need a shirt off my back. I'm there to help people. Like, even through all the dumpster fires of life and garbage that happened, like, I was still very giving, generous, helpful. Like, my ears are always open. My phone's always there. My door is always unlocked for you if you need it. Like, that just comes by naturally. I mean, so I'll never understand how people could be just so garbage to each other. And even when I was in hell, again, I was still all of those things. So maybe obviously I'll never get it. But it's really terrifying when you think about it. People could just sit there and blatantly do that to people all the time without a care in the world. Like, that is just mesmerizing to me. And it's something I hope I actually never do understand. And I'm not saying I spend every waking moment thinking about it, because normally I don't spend like any time on it. Only when people are like, hey, you never believe what this person did, just because they could. And was any of it true? No, because I was there when all of it happened. They sat there and spread it out to the whole world. I had someone do that to me too. Actually, two. What they were spreading, both of them, was kind of cataclysmic. And there was no base to it. Because what do you know? Here we are all these years later. Still none of it's happened. Everything I said about them that they were doing turned out to be true. But I didn't go out of my way to destroy someone just to make myself look better without a care in the world. So I just, I don't know. I'll never understand any of that. Again, I think that's like the 19th time I've said it now, but it's just mind altering, just to the level people will go. It's one of those, like Metallica said, sad but true. Sadly, there's nothing you can do to change it. It doesn't seem. But moral of today, when you're down in there, man, just don't give up. Like, keep going. You're gonna say, "Well, I feel nothing when I do it." Like, keep doing it. Do other things. Sooner or later, it will come back. But don't sit there and just dwell on it and stop doing everything, because that makes the situation worse and it turns you into everything that you hate. It turns just as toxic as they are. And that's a loss for you, friends, family, everyone. Because you lose yourself and everyone else loses you too. And that's like just cataclysmic and so unnecessary. So that's, gain that. Don't let the toxicity and all the misery of another person bring it on you. Falsehoods, lies, like, don't let any of that. Keep doing you. Keep chugging along. It takes time, but don't stop doing everything, because that's just going to make you a god awful human being. Trust and believe that'll make you a god awful human being. Even though most people won't even notice it, you'll feel like one, and you'll feel nothing. There's nothing good. And again, you stop doing everything, then you feel it even worse. Depression and all those things get worse. So just don't do it. Be better than that. Keep chugging along. Better for everyone. But
that being said, I'll get off my soapbox. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back at the regular Jesse Rzinski show, and that's tomorrow. And I'll be doing wrestling with Ski and doing an episode with Justin tonight. And that schedule is not changing; it'll keep going. So I hope you like this one. Share it out. If you're listening to it on Spotify, find the video on Facebook. Mm, Just it's a Sunday sit down all across all platforms. I put it under the Jesse Rzinski show though. So, but Sunday sit down, you'll see the episode on the Jesse Rzinski show page. So it's on the same places. But go find it, comment, tell me what you think about it. Tell me you think I'm crazy. I don't know, but you get it out there to people because I think this was actually a conversation very much worth happening, which is why here I am alone with no one else because it's one of those things that needs to happen. Like everyone goes through it, so why not share my 2 cents on it and let the world know? And here's how I think. Here's all that. Like here's some advice. No matter what, millions of people are going through it every day. So that I appreciate the time again. It's on the Jesse Rzinski show pages across, the Spotify's, Anchors, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, like all of them. So find it, share it out, so more people can get some ears on it. It's all greatly appreciated. Comment and tell me what you think. Crystal, Meg, all you, give me the comments that I asked for and tell me what you think. And till next week, my friends, peace.